The opening goal came from a turnover in traffic.
Tackled well by O'Brien, rolls across towards Reid, hand passes straight to Lewis. Lewis snaps, bounce, did it get touched? I don't think so. It's a goal.
The umpire was shouting a metre away from Brent Guerra, who didn't react, and Travis Cloak converted a 50-metre penalty before Chris Dawes booted the Magpies second.
So Dawes' first kick was a shocker, that's better. So Cloak and Dawes, the big guys, get the first 2 goals for the Pies.
Goals were at a premium in the first quarter, and the Hawks swooped to snatch the lead in the final seconds of the turn.
Collingwood needs a hold. It's going to be a score. Fuapolo released by Franklin. Clock running down. It stops on 3. He didn't know that, but he got the goal.
Ben Johnson went for a band-aid. Lance Franklin went for high pickings, aiming to end the Hawks' run of 4 missed set shots.
They have now the champs on the board.
Cloak showed strength and commitment to take the honours for a contested mark, but he couldn't convert.
And Cloak, an absolute spray to the pocket.
The Hawks cut through the heart of the Collingwood defence, and Franklin guided through his second to send Jeff Kennett dancing out of his presidency.
Down there is Franklin, knocked away by Tarrant. Franklin's got it, kicks a goal. Hawthorn stretched the lead.
Josh Gibson's border security embrace proved costly, and Darren Jolly ended Collingwood's barren spell.
So more than half an hour since a Collingwood goal, and Jolly has been pretty good.
At half-time, Hawthorn 4-7-31, Collingwood 3-5-23. The high-flying Magpies knocked off their perch and desperate to turn things around. Coach Mick Malthouse looking for one more week before his dozen years in black and white fades to grey. Guerra booted the first goal of the second half. Sam Mitchell gave the Hawks a 21-point buffer.
40 metres out, tightish angle, good kick, Hawthorn making a chance of the GF.
The Magpies had to chance their arm, and Pendlebury spotted Dawes half open.
He's played on Pendlebury. Why? That's because he saw Dawes on the lead. This to pull it back to 15. My word, they needed that. He's got 2.
Collingwood abandoned the boundary to catch the Hawks on the wrong foot. Jared Blair with execution to match his vision.
Good kick. Sean, and Blair's got some space. Cloak the go-to man. This will test him, and Gibson. Brilliant. Cloak. Goal.
The Collingwood surge repelled when Harry O'Brien was pressed into error.
He's gone, you would think. Smith's handball awful. Rioli will kick it. That is delicious.
Steele's side bottom's delivery to Dawes was on the money, and he made it a 10-point game.
Chris Dawes has booted a couple. Huge kick this one. It's on the way, and it splits the middle.
In his 14th season, who said Neon Leon Davis was a light of other days?
Davis is a lovely kick. Left foot, going and going. It's a goal. And Collingwood within a kick.
Luke Hodge with the answer from the Hawks.
Well, that's the kick of the captain. It's the kick of the champion, the All-Australian captain. You name it. Much decorated, important goal.
Dane Swan brought the difference down to a kick with his 28th disposal.
Lewis, and here is Swan, deep in the pocket. He's kicked the goal.
Cloak put Collingwood back in front for the first time since the second quarter.
Kick is on the way, the biggest kick of the night, and he puts it straight through the middle.
Inside the final 4 minutes, Franklin came to the fore.
Probing kick inside the forward 50. Here comes Bunny, wheels around, gathers the football. He's kicked the miracle. He's put it through with the outside of the boot, running to the wrong pocket.
Back came the Pies when Luke Ball went to boot.
Ball throws it on the boots, and like Swan before him, he's kicked a magnificent goal out of that pocket.
And another president with the leap of a millionaire out of the hot seat. Tears for the Hawks. Alistair Clarkson full of frustration. His counterpart Malthouse emotional as his Collingwood career continues to another grand final.
The Cats, who got the perfect start, dominating the early passages. The Eagles' backline under pressure. Free kicks to Varco, Christensen and Ponziali, all ending in majors.
That doesn't faze this second-year freak.
The Eagles' gun midfielder Daniel Kerr would get a bone rattler early. He wasn't the only one rattled either, as the goals kept coming for the Cats.
Right now, it's happening for him and for the Cats.
They'd have to wait until midway through the first term, but eventually it would come.
It's just going to get there. Maybe that'll turn things around for the Eagles.
But the Eagles were in survival mode under a first quarter onslaught from the Cats.
Wojcinski has got the carry. It's Geelong's 5th goal.
Nat Nui delivering some joy right on the break.
As the Eagles are within 22 at the quarter-time break.
West Coast would trim that immediately in the second, with goals to LaCroix and Luke Shuey, before Tom Hawkins broke free from Darren Glass. Geelong seizing back the momentum.
The man freed up is Selwood. Not a good strike, but it comes back for a goal. And Geelong back out beyond 20.
The Cats once again on top, but the Eagles' Jack Darling would draw them back into the contest.
It is a thundering goal from the 19-year-old.
But the Cats would give themselves a little more breathing space through Bartel.
He's kicked them from there before, Jimmy Bartel, and he's done it again.
Amazing.
25 points the difference at the main break. Stevie J the difference after it.
Steve Johnson's bouncing kick.
Moments later he'd be left screaming in pain after this collision. The mercurial Steve Johnson stretched it off with what looked like a serious knee injury. The Cats, though, in control.
To stretch it beyond 40 points. And that looks good. No doubt about it.
Daniel Kerr would stop a run of 4 straight for Geelong, but the Cats would continue to dominate.
Oh, Pudsey Adley on the crest of a wave takes the mark.
With Johnson off and Bartel hurting, the Cats would still keep the scoreboard ticking over.
There's beautifully plucked by Hawkins to Chapman, and he just kept his legs for a goal.
Geelong booking their spot in the final even before three-quarter time with a lead of 56 points.
What a debut season for little Alan Christensen. He's going to have a big role too next week.
Johnson would miraculously emerge from the tunnel wearing what should have been a red cape.
How good, son.
He'd take his spot on the Cats bench. The GF still in sight.
So what about next week? He said, mate, there's 6 days. I'm going to do everything I can.
While this year's flame may have extinguished for the Eagles, it still flickers for the future.
He's an irresistible force, Natanui. Oh, what a goal. What a star he'll be.
Scott Selwood with something to remember the day by. Just the one Selwood brother, Joel, heading to the grand final, though. The Cats' third quarter.
It's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood. It's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dawn, down at Cardinia Park. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia Park.
Geelong remains the only unbeaten team after outlasting Collingwood by 3 points at the MCG last night. The gutsy Cats' performance signalled that the premiership race is no longer a one-horse race.
Rookie coach Chris Scott is yet to taste defeat, but he refused to take praise for his team's gutsy three-point win, instead heaping it on his players.
They're just really tough. You know, they follow instructions to the letter. We thought we almost needed to pull a few things back at quarter time because they just, you know, you ask them to do something and they do it.
The Cats dominated everywhere but the scoreboard, with 20 more inside 50s for the game. But wayward kicking kept the Pies in it right to the end.
The pleasing thing is that we were getting the shots and we were playing the way we wanted to play, except for the goal kicking.
Friday the 13th was always going to be unlucky for some, and the Magpies believe it was them, after this Scott Pendlebury goal was disallowed in the dying minutes.
Clearly, to me, it was an advantage. You stop or you go. We went, Geelong went, we kicked the goal, it comes back. So someone's clearly got it wrong.
In better news for Pies supporters, defender Alan Tuvey has been cleared of any serious injury after being on the wrong end of a Tom Hawkins knee. But he will spend the remainder of his weekend in the Epworth Hospital with severe bruising to his chest. While the Cats insist Cameron Ling's shoulder injury is not as bad as first thought.
It probably looked a bit worse than it is, we're hopeful, but he's pretty sore, but we think nothing seriously structural, so he could be okay for this week, or he might be a touch sore, but reasonably good news.
Tim Francis for Sports.
Good evening. Collingwood is counting the cost of last night's thrashings at the hands of Geelong, with a mounting injury list adding to the humiliating loss. Key bigmen Chris Tarrant and Travis Cloke are among the Magpies in doubt for week 1 of the finals after the disastrous 96-point defeat.
If the Pies are worried, they're not showing it.
No, we're all happy with it.
Yeah,
good, yeah.
Happy to lose by 96 points.
Oh, we lost by 100. Disappointed we didn't lose by 100.
Boys concerned about last night?
Wouldn't have thought so. I'm concerned I can't get in the building.
Doors, form and injuries are all a problem at Collingwood. Chris Tarrant hobbled into the club on a rolled ankle, still hopeful of playing against West Coast next weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, as I said, sort of walking around pretty well. So have some scans and fingers crossed it comes back okay.
The full-back certainly didn't look okay last night, nor did the full forward, Travis Cloke, leaving the field with a knee problem.
It's all good, buddy.
Running defender Ben Johnson also suffered a knock to the lower leg. How's the leg feeling this morning?
Yeah, really good.
Oh, good. You'll be okay for this week?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Maxwell, Shaw and Davis should all be available to return, but the Magpies will need a radical form turnaround after conceding 22 of the last 26 goals in their worst ever loss to Geelong.
You're probably thinking, how in the hell? So that's where I'm at the moment. It won't be fatal, but you don't want it to be hanging around either.
The Cats have now inflicted the reigning premiers only 2 losses this season, but they're refusing to get carried away with the dead rubber demolition.
It's nice. Yeah, preferable. Those sort of things. Not amazing or spectacular. It is what it is. What counts is the next month.
Nathan Templeton for Sports.